They were fire and ice. One was an arrogant genius who lived for the nightlife. The other, a silent assassin who found peace in prayer. Together, they would end a 24-year nightmare for the greatest footballing nation on earth. By 1993, Brazil hadn't won a World Cup since Pelé's 1970 masterpiece. The pressure was suffocating. The nation was losing its identity, and the Selección was in a state of tactical chaos.
In Europe, Romario was a god. At Johan Cruyff's Barcelona, he was the genius of the goal. Statistically, he was unmatched, scoring 30 goals in 33 games. But his ego was as large as his talent.
Meanwhile, in Galicia, Bebeto was the silent engine of Deportivo La Coruña. He was the Pichichi winner, a clinical finisher who relied on movement and intelligence rather than raw power. They didn't just play differently, they lived differently. Romario called himself the best in the world. Bebeto spoke of team harmony. The Brazilian media fueled the fire, claiming these two could never coexist in a 4-4-2 system. The breaking point came in the 1994 qualifiers. Brazil suffered their first ever qualifying defeat to Bolivia. Coach Carlos Alberto Parreira had exiled Romario for his lack of discipline, but the team was toothless without him.
Parreira was a pragmatist. He wanted a rigid, defensive block. But with Brazil on the verge of missing their first World Cup ever, he had to make a choice: maintain discipline or embrace the arrogant genius.
September 19, 1993, the final qualifying match against Uruguay. The Maracanã screamed one name. Parreira finally blinked. Romario was back. Romario promised he would win the game alone. It was the ultimate display of arrogance. But on that day, the world saw something else: the birth of a partnership. In the 72nd minute, the breakthrough. Romario rose above the tall Uruguayan defenders. 1-0. The tactical deadlock was broken.
Minutes later, he did it again. A clinical finish after a 40-meter burst. Statistically, Romario had touched the ball fewer times than anyone else, but he had decided the fate of a nation.
Brazil was going to USA 94. The enemies had formed a truce. But the real test, the heat of the American summer and the best defenses in the world, lay ahead. Parreira's system was built on compactness. He used two holding midfielders, Dunga and Mauro Silva, to provide a shield, allowing the double R&B duo to focus entirely on the final third.
June 20th, 1994, the opening match against Russia. The temperature on the pitch reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Tactical discipline was about to be tested by physical endurance.
Romario opened the scoring in the 26th minute. It wasn't pretty, but it was efficient. Brazil won 2-0. The partnership was beginning to hum with synchronicity. Against Cameroon, the tactical chemistry was undeniable. Bebeto's unselfish movement opened gaps that Romario exploited with surgical precision. Another goal for the genius, another win for the Selección.
The final group game against Sweden ended in a 1-1 draw. Romario scored again, his third in 3 games. Brazil topped the group, but the knockout stages would require more than just goals. They required sacrifice. Round of 16, Independence Day, against the hosts, the USA. Brazil was down to 10 men after Leonardo's elbow. For the first time, the silent assassin and the arrogant genius were truly alone.
With the game tied 0-0 and the clock ticking, Romario did the unthinkable. He didn't shoot. He attracted the entire defense and laid it off for Bebeto. Bebeto scored. In the celebration, the silent assassin told the arrogant genius he loved him. The feud was officially dead. Brazil was in the quarterfinals. The quarterfinal against the Netherlands is widely considered the greatest game of the tournament. Two tactical philosophies clashing: Dutch total football versus Brazilian pragmatism. 53rd minute. Bebeto crosses. Romario finishes. A goal of pure instinct. 1-0. The arrogant genius was at the height of his powers. Then Bebeto doubled the lead. But it wasn't the goal that made history. It was what happened next. The cradle celebration. Bebeto's wife had just given birth. In this moment, the team wasn't just a collection of stars. They were a family. But the Dutch fought back to 2-2. A 30-yard screamer from Branco saved the day. Brazil won 3-2. They were heading to the semifinals, driven by a strike force that had now scored 7 of Brazil's 10 goals. The semifinal was a tactical nightmare. Sweden parked the bus. They knew if they stopped Romario and Bebeto, they stopped Brazil. For 80 minutes, it worked. In the 80th minute, the shortest man on the pitch scored with his head. It was Romario's 5th goal of the tournament. The genius had found a way through the forest of Swedish defenders. July 17th, 1994. The final. Brazil versus Italy. Two titans, both seeking their 4th star. The stage was set for the ultimate tactical showdown. Italy's Catenaccio versus Brazil's pragmatism. Franco Baresi, back from injury, played the game of his life. He shadowed Romario's every move, neutralizing the genius for 120 grueling minutes. The 100-degree heat took its toll. Statistically, the pass completion rate dropped by 15% in extra time. It was no longer about tactics. It was about who would break first. 0-0 after 120 minutes. For the first time in history, the World Cup would be decided by a penalty shootout. The weight of 150 million Brazilians rested on 5 kicks. Romario had to score. He hit the post, but the ball ricocheted into the net. Pure confidence. Even when he almost missed, he won. Then, the moment that defined a generation. Roberto Baggio, Italy's hero, sent the ball into the Pasadena sky. The drought was over. Brazil were champions again. 24 years of waiting ended by a duo that many said could never play together. The arrogant genius and the silent assassin had conquered the world. Romario was named the tournament's best player. He had scored 5 goals and provided 3 assists, but he knew he couldn't have done it without the man wearing number 7. The numbers don't lie. Out of Brazil's 11 goals in the tournament, 8 were scored by this duo. Their tactical synergy remains one of the most efficient in international football history. They changed the philosophy of the Seleção. They proved that Brazilian flair could be paired with tactical discipline. They paved the way for the dominance of the late 90s and early 2000s. The enemies became brothers. The arrogance was tempered by success, and the silence was broken by shared glory. Today, their bond is a testament to the power of a common goal. They taught us that you don't have to be friends to be partners, but through partnership, you might just become friends.
They saved Brazil when Brazil had forgotten how to win.
Romario and Bebeto, two different souls, one shared destiny. The men who brought the magic back to the yellow jersey. Forever legends, forever Brazil.